Hello, and welcome back as the team and I get ready to grab a bucket and slop out the inside of this downed UFO like a Times Square peep show booth. In Perfidious, Pete plays XCOM 2. Okay, I kid. We all know they don't clean the inside of those booths. Periodically, the janitor guy comes around and just sprays a little Lysol in the air so it sort of smells disinfected, but the floors of those things, they're stickier than the in-house movie theater in a superglue factory. I hate that last joke. You know what? I'm taking that one back. I'm taking it back. It was too obvious. Well, it wasn't obvious because there would never be an in-house movie theater in a glue factory. But you know what? I'm sorry about the whole thing. I apologize. It was the laziest possible sort of humor. Besides, dried crusted semen wouldn't really be all that sticky. Or I guess it would be sort of sticky, but only in like an Elmer's glue sort of way. Not in the movie theater kind of way where, you know, walking on a semen-crusted floor wouldn't make that snack, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies sort of sound that a theater does. And that's the foundation of humor, really, is to, you know, always be accurate and realistic in your portrayals of society just as it is, with no exaggeration, hyperbole, or contradiction. That's how humor works, right? No, I mean, dried semen would be more like Elmer's glue in that if it was still damp when you put it between two surfaces, yeah, it might stick them together and form a bond with like some kind of weird polymerized proteins. But once dry, not actually sticky like, you know, high fructose corn syrup slowly caking the floor of a movie theater. I can't even remember where I started this intro now, so you know what, to hell with it. Let's get back to work and just get finished off this landed UFO like Sylvester Stallone pleasuring Gina Davis with the 5-inch heel of a Prada stiletto. Because, hey, you know, humor is all based on exact, realistic rendering of reality and factual basis. And we all know the Stallone-Davis thing, that totally happened, right? That's not at all exaggeration, hyperbole, or fantasy. Well, maybe a little bit of fantasy. My particular brand of fantasy, but hey, don't judge me. Excuse me? We got spotted here, and I am genuinely confused as to how that happened. We knew those enemies were there, but they should not have been able to spot us from their location. Ultimately, I suppose it's fine. We've got more than enough, soup to deal with this particular problem. So, speaking of dealing with this particular problem, how do we want to do that? My concern is I don't really want to spawn any additional pods that might be lurking back here because there is still a sectopod somewhere in this general vicinity, which means what we need is a grenade delivered on point to this area so we can open up some cover and get some kills for the boys. We could do that with the blaster launcher if absolutely necessary, but I'd really rather conserve Morgan Freeman for maybe something a little more useful. Demi Moore could come up here and start popping off at this Archon. Harrison Ford, we're not going to get... You can't even see an enemy from here? Seriously? Nothing, huh? Alright, well, let's do this. We can still get some utility out of Harrison Ford, even though he doesn't have vision to the enemy. We're going to bring him over here, and I think we're probably going to have him Oscar Mike. But before we go for the straight up on the move, what if we bring... You know, William Shatner has already used his Icarus. Ugh, that's bad. We're going to need to get a shot out of Shatner, at least one, and he can see our target from this tile. This is the only shot we're going to get with Willie Shats. So we bring him over here. We'll have him, let's see what his base hit percentage is. 93 is respectable. I'm tempted to go with the hail of bullets, but it uses a lot of ammo, and I do want to keep enough left for a chain shot. Let's just go ahead and take the 93% chance. I trust Willie Shats here. I paused and took a careful aim, Pete, and delivered the hit, because pausing is what a good William Shatner does. So, Papa Bear, let's get you up here and see how close you can get this grenade. Can you get it where we need to be? Probably no. You're well short of the mark. So are we going to get anything at all useful out of you? In this case, like the most useful thing we're probably going to get is this 59% shot. But we will hold off on that in case we need a frost bomb. So now's the time for the old Oscar Mike. Not as fast as I once was, Pete. The old, breaking the legs on the set. You do that enough times, it really slows a man down. But while I may not be as fast as I once was, Pete, I've still got it where it counts. Still, Still got the deadly accuracy that you've come to expect from Harrison Ford. So what about a blaster launcher delivered in here? Is this going to open things up the way we need it? Yeah. Turns out the blaster launcher is the skeleton key of the XCOM project. It's the Shaggy Scooby-Doo mystery sort of, oh, I found a skeleton key that opens any doors. How did that ever become a thing, by the way? I understand that comedy, I'm not sure that's the right word, cartoon writers in the 70s were probably just some of like the laziest people employed ever in Hollywood, and they were like, fuck it, there's a key that opens every door. And not only is that a thing that exists, but for this particular location, but every location has a skeleton key. There's like one master lock in all scenarios that opens everything. Everybody knows this. It is known. It's one of those things like that which the Khaleesi knows. Somebody has got to kill this Archon, but we also need somebodies to come up here and start messing with our little pals up here, these Vipers. Somebody's got to get the Vipers, too. Stallone can't even see one, so Stallone getting a Viper is probably out. I think we're going to have to get fairly aggressive here. Now, we can get some free movement from Morgan Freeman with a Rage Strike, which I think is exactly what we're going to do. We have Morgan Freeman Rage Strike to here, punch this Archon in the back. And we're doing this more for the movement than for the actual damage. Did you see, Pete? I stole William Shatner's signature move there. Yeah, that's right, Willie Shats. Morgan Freeman is all up in your shit, dog. I took your double axe handle punch, your patented Star Trek maneuver, and I have procured it and made it my own. As long as this doesn't pop a pod, Morgan Freeman should be able to kill both of these Vipers. Did not pop a pod, and both Vipers are then dead. This shot will not count. Close encounters makes that a freebie. You're dead. And we've got the follow-up shot. 95% chance here. We could double up and take 280s instead. I'm just going to go for the 195. It's fine. Dodged. It's suddenly vastly less than fine. Well, then, that's a real bucket of syrup. How do we dig our way out of that? Stallone can't get there. Somebody still has to kill the Archon. Demi Moore could theoretically run and gun, but that means somebody else has to kill the Archon. Okay, Clint, can you get me a hit here? It's a bad chance. The Papa Bear hath stood and the Papa Bear hath delivered. He's not going to get a kill, though, because that's actually going to have to go... That kill's going to have to go to Stallone. But in order to make the Stallone kill happen, we got to get Demi Moore in here and have her do some damage. So Demi's going to have to... We're going to waste a run and gun on this. We're going to have to. I don't like this play at all, but it's the only way we can kill everything on the map this turn. If suppression would work, we might try that. 85%. 185 or 270s? You know what? 270s I prefer. If we had taken the rapid fire with Morgan Freeman, that dodge might not have mattered. We should have learned our lesson. And now Stallone, I was saving Stallone for last because we might have needed a Mimic Beacon, but we're not going to need the Mimic Beacon, and this has an advanced stock, so we're going to get at least 1 damage here, even on the miss. That's the University of Phoenix Online guarantee. No matter what happens, you know, you will always sort of at least get... Never mind, there's no guarantee with the University of Phoenix. I wish we had some kind of like educational guarantee, but really the only thing the University of Phoenix Online guarantees is that we guarantee you that, well, we'll give you a degree, because effectively we just show them. But we'll give you a degree, and also we can guarantee that we will take your money. That's the one guarantee from the University of Phoenix Online. We guarantee that we are willing to accept your cash. Is there any tile from which we can get Stallone vision on the thing? Like, where do we have to be to get vision on the thing? Because we want to be there. We have to be relatively close. Like, this tile is the best we can do? There. Okay. Well. We can see the thing from this tile. I don't like this position. We can't see it from any of these ones that actually have cover. What if this spawns a pod, Pete? Well, if it spawns a pod, we're going to be right in the middle of a shit sandwich. Did not spawn a pod. Stallone has vision on the thing. Nobody else is doing nothing. Yeah, it's fine, Bradford. The aliens are going to get a bead on the UFO. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is going to get ready to get a bead on the aliens who are going to get a bead on the UFO. So everybody's going to rearm, reload, reposition, and get ready for the inevitable alien onslaught. Shatner's down to 2 bullets. Hey, quick reload will fix that, Pete. I'm going to go ahead and set this baby to overcharge. Because overcharging a phaser, that's a setting that an explosive weapon should have. I never understood that. Why did Star Trek make that an option on their weapons? Oh, by the way, you can set this bad boy to overload and effectively turn it into a bomb. If this was a useful military application and not a convenient plot device by lazy writers to get their heroes out of a situation they couldn't legitimately think of an escape for. But if it weren't that, and let's assume that it wasn't just that, why would we not have that on, like, modern-day weaponry? Why wouldn't they, if that was a useful thing to have, how come, say, you know, armed military forces around the world wouldn't be like, oh yeah, by the way, your M16, in case of emergency, has a button where you can set it to just self-destruct and it'll explode in a catastrophic, calamitous explosion? How come, if that's a useful thing to have, why don't we have that? Because it really seems like that's a modification for a piece of weaponry that only has drawbacks. People setting it off accidentally, you know, the enemy seizing it and setting it off and trapping you with your own weapons. It really only seems like it's going to be a bad thing. I don't really care about region income. Also, region income is not a slam dunk. Let's just take the satellite data. Reducing our scanning time is acceptable. And honestly, reduction in scanning time will probably give us more than we'll get out of 25. Just by... Well, it's probably not true. I was thinking we could get more out of reduced scanning time. Like, we would pick up enough extra supplies and whatnot by our reduced scanning time to actually overcome that. But that 25 credits is month over month. We got to think of this in more of like a financial institution sort of way. We gotta be like, oh, you know, a half a point of interest doesn't really sound like a lot, Pete, but when you amortize that month over month, year over year for 40, you know, the 40-year length of the loan, it's actually a pretty considerable amount.
Headed there now.
I don't think that way. It's probably why I'm not wealthy either. That's you gotta think long term if you want to have solid financial and fiscal prospects. That's just the way smart people do business. And as we all know, Perfidious Pete is not a smart man. Never claimed to be. Quite the opposite, in fact. Also really not known for forward thinking or planning. Definitely more of a just fly by the seat of my pants and sort of see what happens kind of guy. Which is why, you know, eventually I'm sure I'll probably wind up sleeping in a gutter somewhere. I'll be like, oh, Pete, how come you're out here sleeping on the streets? That cardboard box looks uncomfortable for a man of your aging years. I'll be like, yeah. Well, Pete should have been more fiscally responsible and maybe invested his YouTube monies instead of squandering it and frittering it away on the drugs, the wine, the women, and the sun. Now I live in this box. But, didn't really plan for my retirement. Old Pete's gonna look back at like slightly younger Pete and be like, man, slightly younger Pete was a stupid asshole. I'd still do that now with Pete as little as like a half hour ago. I mean, half hour ago, Pete was also an idiot. 25 years ago, Pete is gonna be, I'm assuming by comparison, even a bigger idiot. Just like that much more of an idiot. If half hour ago Pete was a dumb shit, 25 years ago Pete is going to be borderline retarded. We could have Clint Eastwood come in here and open up line of sight. Can you see that Andromeda from this tile, Clint? You can. That's going to be your mission then. Get in here, open things up with a little bit of grenade, and still a sectopod too. He's back here lurking somewhere. We can catch the robot, everything inside this craft, and the Andromedon with this grenade. We're going to shred all of this armor. Hacking the longbow, if Stallone can get vision on it, is an idea with both merit and drawback, because it could potentially activate additional pods, which I don't think I like, and we might be straight up better off. What's your damage look like here? 69% is not very good. 69% is not very good. It's the best percent. Alright, fine. If you're looking for the cheap joke, I'll give you the cheap one. We could hack that Andromedon instead, and it just seems like it would be dramatically more useful. if we need some cheap damage, we could also have Bruce Willis dash in with like a run-in. I kind of just need Bruce out of the way. I need that tile, Bruce, but I don't want to use any of your moves in case I need them later for more important things. So here's what you're going to do. Throw the old hook, grapple up on top of the ship, and just cool your heels for a minute. Oh, I thought for a second it said he could see this guy from the tile he was in, and I was going to be extraordinarily confused. Morgan Freeman does have his plasma blaster. 70% chance to hit the longbow. He can guaranteed kill that longbow, though, with the plasma blaster. Well, probes a lot. I kind of need you in Morgan Freeman's position. Can you see that guy from here? No. Somebody's going to have to give up their position, then. It's going to have to be either Demi Moore. All right, well, if we're going to do it, we should do it early. Demi, get in there. That's what I was concerned about. Yeah, that's real bad. Hello, Sectopod. Come crashing through the wall. Here comes the Kool-Aid man. Oh, Demi Moore's got some close encounters. Sweet, 7 free damage. Man, that guy's got a ton of armor.
Hit the armor.
Well, some of it hit the armor, some of it pierced the armor and did still respectable damage. Harrison Ford suddenly has shots at this Sidewinder Elite. No chance to miss. Go ahead and light him up here, Harrison. Might get a kill. Did not get a kill, but we got very, very close. Do we take the follow-up and just go ahead and kill this? I think we're not going to get anything more useful out of Harrison Ford. Let's go ahead and handle him. You're done.
Taken care of.
And now is the time where we really got to put Sylvester Stallone's University of Phoenix online education to the test. This is the moment of truth here, Sylvester. 46% chance to control an enemy, 91% chance to shut him down. I was really hoping for considerably more than that. So Bruce Willis, I think it's time for you to come down here and maybe murder a snake man. Can you do that? Yes. So what is available for Bruce Willis to murder? What's on the murder menu? Sidewinder Elite Murder, definite kill. Another Sidewinder Elite Murder, definite kill. Very little chance of spawning any subsequent pods, and it would also give us an untouchable move. Actually, as long as the foe we hit doesn't explode when it dies, we could get in, hit him, and get out. Only a 96% chance to hit this guy. I don't like that at all. Sidewinder Elite. If we take you on, what's our escape path? We don't really have one. And nobody else is going to be able to get to this guy. I think this is the Bruce Willis play, but we do it from this tile. Small chance we could panic these guys, too, when they catch sight of Bruce Willis. Is it panic? Now that I'm thinking about it, do you think it's panic, or do you think they're actually just laughing at him? They see the serpent suit, and they're like... They're not panicking, they just collapse in laughter. I know you're wearing a suit made out of what for us is effectively human skin, but still, I can't help but laugh at what you have done. Morgan Freeman, I really kind of need you to move, or possibly... Nah, we'll be fine. We're going to have to Icarus jump like 2.5 feet here. Why are we Icarus jumping to go 6 inches? Very, very simple reason. I want to get a traverse shot off here. So, Willie Shatz, no, the chain shot's going to be for the big guy. You're going to have to go ahead and do this. Warm him up. Little light love tap for our Andromedon friend. 10 damage. Got the 2 shred. That's beautiful. And then the chain shot goes into the Sectopod, who should be absolutely and in all ways unmissable. 8 damage and 3 for the shred. Shred the rest of that armor, and we are good to go, pal. Mission accomplished, Pete. Just like the continuing mission of the Starship Enterprise, which I'd like to point out isn't really as continuing as it once was. Sort of over, because I saw Star Trek Beyond, Pete, and I gotta say, it was pretty fucking disappointing. Dame Judi Dench has only got 1 shot here. We could kill that Sectopod. Demi Moore, are you close enough that if you shoot that Sectopod, you're going to be caught in the blast? You are 3 tiles away, which I believe should be safe. Or at least safe-ish. Now's maybe the time for a trench gun. We can catch them both. Yeah, trench gun it is. This is gonna kill the Andromedon, or at least put him into robot mode. It also, never mind, killed them both. Or did it? Okay, killed one of them and left the sectopod with 1 health. Which is not bad, because when that sectopod explodes, we can make him do damage to his friend. Made you eat your parents, I made you eat your parents. So, let's do that. He goes down in a heap thanks to the stylings of Dane Judi Dench. He exploded, did 5 damage to his pal. We got the traverse fire from Dane Judi if we need it. I'm not sure at this point we're going to require it. So who we got left? We have Dane Judi Dench, we got Sylvester Stallone, and we have Morgan Freeman. And that's it, effectively. Well, we could run up here, take a free shot. I wonder if we could catch both of them in a plasma blast after we took our freebie. You know, it seems worth the effort. Let's give it a shot. So we got our free shot at Jimmy the Robot over here. Jimmy the Robot, enjoy this. I'm not really sure that robot, he doesn't, Pete, to me, does not really look like a James. I would say he's more like a Phil or a Rick, or perhaps even a Steve. And maybe this plasma blaster of mine should destroy the holy living shit out of these remaining enemies. I put one robot in the fucking ground, Pete, and I have badly wounded another. Damn. We're gonna be short. Well, this is why the XCOM gods made mimic beacons. This situation right here, this is what they're for. So here we go. Old mimic beacon's gonna come out. Everybody should be able to see it from this tile, and that should be more than enough to keep old Morgan Freeman safe. You know, Pete, that the mimic beacon was created by scientists who studied at the University of Phoenix Online. Did you know that, Pete? No, this is bullshit. Oh, it's true. In the University of Phoenix's online laboratories, scientists and others were working round the clock to develop phase cloaking technology inspired by, I'd like to point out, my friend William Shatner and his Romulan warbirds. They inspired the technology, and scientists at the University of Phoenix were like, this is a fantastic ability and a thing that really must exist in the real world. Let's see what we could do about making a dream become a reality. And you know, being a member of the University of Phoenix Online, of course, making dreams reality is their 100% specialty. They can make your dreams a reality. So they did it, and the mimic beacon was born, Pete.
Weapons empty. Can't engage.
Once again, just proof that you know, hashtag we rise, Pete. Hashtag we rise. I hate you and everything you stand for, but I don't hate the fact that Bruce Willis is going to take the kill on this Sidewinder Elite to almost certainly wrap up the old mission here. Down he goes.
You know, that was good.
Yeah, he was probably too busy in a fit of laughter to defend himself. He saw you run into that costume and was stricken helpless with mirth at the ridiculousness of your costume and just was like, you know what? This was funny enough that I can die happy. So ridiculous, so absurd, so ludicrous. As I die in this moment, I die fulfilled, knowing that I live to see the ultimate in humor. This is absurdity in its purest form. It has crystallized the absurdity of my own existence, and now I can die realizing that ultimately my life meant nothing and was but a cruel, cruel joke of a universe deciding to give me sentience to be aware of the own inevitability of my death. Sorry, man, that may have gotten a little Samuel Beckett there at the end. I read Waiting for Godot a couple weeks ago just to reread it. Love that play. It's, you know, it's bleeding into me. Also, I may personally be experiencing the pitiless black void of eternal emptiness that awaits us all at the ultimate... Nope, never mind. There it goes. Operation Hell Wheel was anything but hellacious. We sort of kicked the shit out of everything we faced on that. Which is good. You know, my attention is a little split. My commentary's been a little jagged on this one. I apologize. But working with some new recording software, trying out some new stuff, and I've been periodically trying to focus on both OBS Studio and this. I made the switch over to OBS Studio thanks to Windows 10 being a piece of garbage and wrecking some drivers with DirectX 12 support. So, was forced to switch from OBS Classic. Gotta say, OBS Studio, it's very nice. If you haven't made the switch, it's definitely worth your time. Consider upgrading. It's a much better program. It's got a lot of really interesting, really handy features. Definitely got vastly superior audio support. Not that that's going to matter for my purposes, because I actually record my audio in Adobe Audition anyway, but still, worth your time. If you're streaming specifically, some of the audio features for streaming are nice, where you can't really pipe your audio through Audition if you're streaming, because it takes up a lot of CPU cycles and can cause some frame rate hits and whatnot. Like noise reduction and whatnot that OBS Studio has built into it is nice. Although it's not true noise reduction, it's actually just you can set a level below which everything gets the holy living shit compressed out of it. So it's some like routine audio compression, which again is something that you can do in Adobe Audition, but it's incorporated straight into OBS Studio now, which is a nice little feature. The audio stuff it's good. They've made a lot of really positive changes. The video profiles and scenes do set up and added hotkeys for a lot of functions that OBS has too as well. It's in general just much better than OBS Classic. If you record or stream and haven't tried it yet, definitely grab OBS Studio. Well worth your time. You could download it in the time it's going to take this loading screen to finish, probably. Oh, no, never mind. Probably teched and nerded out enough there. Let's try to make a joke that's exclusively celebrity based. Harrison Ford, how's the leg treating you? Don't ever talk to me, Pete. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm tired. I had enough of your stupid, jaded, dated bullshit humor. Just don't talk to me. Get out of my house. No promotions? One promotion. Sylvester Stallone picking up the promotion, becoming the Brigadier General. That's right, Pete. I got my degree in logistics and military tactics from the University of Phoenix Online. Achieve your dreams. Become a Brigadier General like me, Sylvester Stallone, a.k.a. Bonnie from The Expendables. The greatest hero name of all time, by the way, I'd like to point out. How many ass-kicking badasses in the history of film have ever been named Bonnie? Basically, I'm named after a purple dinosaur. Let's take a look at your abilities there, purple dinosaur. I love you, Pete, and I think maybe you love me. Don't jump the gun on that one. Minus 50% chance to hit. Resilience actually is not a terrible idea. Sentinel may take 2 reaction shots. Pretty good, especially if we couple that with Ever Vigilant. That's a nice little combination. Restoration is also respectable. The question being, which would we get more use out of? Restoration is more useful in a dire situation. This is true. In a pinch, it's very, very good. But Sentinel is more useful pretty much all the time. 2 Overwatch shots. Is it more useful all the time? Here's the thing. How often do we have Sylvester Stallone taking Overwatch shots? When he double moves, yes, he automatically goes into Overwatch, but by and large, the majority of the time, those shots never actually launch. It would be nice to get guaranteed damage out of his stock twice on Overwatch. So many enemies that we're fighting have abilities that let him skip Overwatch, though. There are too many guys that have Shadow Step or Lightning Reflexes. And Restoration really could save your bacon in a holy shit, everything has gone catastrophically wrong. It's like I got my degree from the University of Phoenix in nuclear engineering, got a job at a nuclear power plant, a meltdown is in progress, and I realized that my online training has not prepared me to deal with this situation. It's sort of like that. Let's go for Restoration instead. I really am truly, I'm much more of a lover than a fighter. Advanced Expanded Magazine is maybe one of the best pickups we've gotten in a while. Yes, it only increases our clip size by 2, but we have a whole bunch of people who would definitely benefit from having their clip size increased by 2. I am very glad to have picked that up, and we are going to be getting armed to the teeth shortly anyway, so we can install and take use of that. That's where this episode's going to wrap up, though. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Of course, your support does really mean a lot. And if you'd like to see us continue our online psionics degree as well, might consider subscribing as well. Post new episodes every single day. Starting to get a real Scientology kind of feel from Sylvester Stallone with the whole, oh, Bradford with an outro interruption. It's been forever, buddy.
Like what we found then either. Wilderness or not, the aliens could be setting up an ambush, or worse for all we know.
I'm just going to let Bradford talk here.
People will be prepped and ready for a fight. I just wish we had more to go on.
Well, going in drunk and blind is kind of the John Bradford protocol. Sure, you always wish you had more to go on, Bradford, but that's because you stumble drunkenly into every situation with no foreknowledge or forethought. But it's good to see you coming back in the outro interruption. Bradford, I've been worried about you lately, buddy. Been thinking maybe you were a little depressed, a little down on the dumps, but it's good to see you coming back into form, hitting your stride. I appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead and encourage these people to, anybody watching, if anybody's still watching, which would surprise me, drop a like down in the comment section. You enjoyed the episode. Support really does mean a lot. If you'd like to see more, consider subscribing to episodes of XCOM every single day. Right now, thanks very much for watching, and I will return to my Sylvester Stallone Scientology analogy in very short order.